I went door to door to these apartment complexes of college girls, and I was like, hey, would you like to buy my makeup? It was humiliating. I'm trying to sell to strangers who don't want this. I hated every minute of it. Hello, everybody. I am back with my dear sister, Sarah, my favorite sister, best sister, only sister. And I'm so excited to talk about what we're talking about today because I feel like that it's something super relatable that, like, if you haven't been through it yourself, you definitely have observed it, and we can all do a collective eye roll together. But before we get into it, what have you been up to?
Today, I have a friend flying in from Chicago, and I'm excited for her to come and see my life down here and hang out and catch up.
Do you have plans for the weekend? Like, do you have specific things that you're doing?
She's here for weekdays. So, like, she'll be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then fly back Thursday. So, I do have to go to roller derby practice tonight. I'm like, can you just drop me off at practice and you could take my car and just explore the surrounding area, which is Franklin, Tennessee, the ritzy, like, it's hard to describe, but it's where the celebrities have their property.
When I drive through Franklin, I'm always astounded because there are so many houses, one after another, of like multi-million-dollar houses, like full neighborhoods where every house is probably like, $2-3 million at least. Yeah. My big question, whenever
I go on like an acre of land,
I'm just always dumbfounded. Like, how are there so many people with enough money to afford a lifestyle like this? Like, I get, there's like the big celebrities. Well, yeah, but like there's not 5,000 celebrities that live in Nashville. I want to do door-to-door surveys. I doubt they will appreciate that, but I want to knock on their doors.
How'd you get your money?
Yes. Can you explain, please? What do you do for work?
They'll be like, get off my lawn.
I know. I feel like, do you benefit from generational wealth? What do you do? What does your partner do, or your spouse? Are you in the music industry? It makes me think of Adam Sandler in The Wedding Singer when he's like, I have a little money. I'd like to have more of it.
That's where you come in.
Seriously. Would you like to sponsor a brand new podcaster? Be a patron for the arts. Of the podcast arts.
That is a line from Legally Blonde, which we will talk about later, where Elle Woods submitted her application to Harvard, and they're discussing whether to let her in. And they're like, she's a patron of the arts. She created a line of faux fur bikinis as a fundraiser for her, whatever, and a philanthropist.
I would like somebody to be a patron of the arts, of the podcast arts.
Of this art.
Ben always tells me that my art is the best art of all the art.
Does he? Is it from The Office?
Yeah,
I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's when Pam, she has her art show, and she has her couple of little watercolors, and then Roy comes and he looks at it and he's like, your art is the best art of all the art. And that's what Ben tells me, even though, kid you not, he has not listened to 1 minute of this podcast.
Are you serious?
Seriously. He has not listened to 1 minute of it. He left a review, and if you look at the reviews, you'll be able to spot his immediately.
It's like, I didn't listen to this podcast, but I appreciate what they're doing.
I think he said, this is the best podcast I've ever listened to, or something like that.
My boyfriend has listened and watched every podcast because he is so excited and supportive.
So sweet.
I know, it's really sweet. Like, I have a golden retriever boyfriend, which is the best.
That's darling. Please tell him I say thank you, or I can just tell him myself. The funny thing is there are Found at 40 listeners all over. I think it's really cool because I'm able to see on my little host website where people are from, and 80% are from the United States, and then the other 20% are Canada and Europe, and what are the other countries?
Invite us to your country. Fly us out there. We'll do a live podcast from your house.
Be a patron of the arts.
Be a patron of the arts. Yeah.
No, the biggest
new friends.
New friends will get chopped up in their basement. It's fine. It's fine. The number one city, you would not expect this, the number one city of listeners is Chicago. Anyway, Thanks, Chicago. Happy you're here.
Thanks, Chicago.
But let's get into it. There's one other thing that I wanted to talk about is you and I have both been listening to a podcast, not to tell everybody to go listen to another podcast, but this is one you do want to listen to. So it's called Unicorn Girl. It's about this girl named Candace Rivera, who she's from the Salt Lake area. It is just wild how you listen to the whole thing. I'm on episode 7. How would you summarize this without giving it away completely?
Let's see. Con artist, sociopath.
Yes, it's wild. You already know from the beginning kind of what the end is going to be, but kind of seeing the path there, it's like you're cringing and it gets worse and worse and worse.
As it starts out, you think, okay, maybe nothing can be really that bad. There's no way that like the FBI is going to get involved or whatever. Like, she's not really doing anything that bad. And then you realize like, oh, she has created an entire fake charity persona and people are contributing money and you don't know where it's going, and then you find out where it's actually going.
Kind of to pivot from that, so Unicorn Girl, kind of fraud, crazy, people throwing their money into the abyss. Let's talk about what we're actually going to talk about, which is MLMs, multi-level marketing. Today we're taking a look back at how we managed to fall into the MLM trap, not once, not twice, but a combined total of 6 times. We're going to talk about what drew us in and why those glossy promises were so hard to resist. And of course, share some of the hilarious and truly cringy tales that came out of it. Because apparently we never learned the first time. So Sarah, let's list for everybody listening our MLM history, our MLM resumes.
Okay, so there was one in Utah. I don't even really remember the name of it. Trek something. Then there was Mary Kay. I think there were a couple things where friends of mine were doing it, and so I went ahead and signed up, but I never actually did anything with it.
Oh, you were never like an active.
I had a New Skin number, but I never sold or bought or anything. And then LuLaRoe.
And then for me, it's Mary Kay, Younique, which is another makeup brand, and then LuLaRoe. So I feel like our MLM resumes, it's basically like an FTC cautionary tale. Like the fact that each of us have been in 3. But I mean, I think a good question to ask is like, how did we get there? Because whether it was like MLMs or whether it was like the dream of being the girl boss, the boss babe, I feel like there's a lot in the early 2000s culture that really primed us to feel like that was the goal, to be like, hashtag boss babe.
Right. Movies in that time definitely influenced that culture.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I've mentioned it before, like Devil Wears Prada, and there's Legally Blonde, 13 Going on 30, where like Jennifer Garner's character is this magazine editor, and you just feel like, oh, you can, do the things and rise to the top and have this like splashy, wonderful life where you dress fantastic and go to parties and have like this glittering reality.
Legally Blonde made me think that I could go to law school for a minute. And I mean, honestly, if I wanted to be a lawyer, I'm sure I could do that. She's like, what? Like, it's hard? But I thought, okay, I'm going to go to law school. I'm going to law school. Like, that's not my personality. That's not for me.
But for a second, it sounded like, ooh, could that be the goal? Could I make that the goal?
There was this song by the band Cake. Do you remember the band Cake? They had a song called Short Skirt, Long Jacket that came out in 2001. And it was like, I want a girl who gets up early. I want a girl who stays up late. I want a girl with uninterrupted prosperity who uses a machete to cut through red tape.
Yes, I totally know that song. Okay, I'm going to insert a little snippet of it right here.
I want a girl who gets up early. I want a girl who stays up late. I want a girl with uninterrupted prosperity who uses a machete to cut through red tape.
It's like they're creating this boss babe picture. And I'm like, I could be that. I cannot be that.
No, I feel like I'm not interested.
But some people can. Some people can't.
And it's like good for them. That's fantastic. But then also realizing like one thing that I'm reading this book, which I'm not even going to say what book it is because I'm going to be having the author on in a few months.
What?
I know. So it's like, I feel so fancy. But her book is a lot about that of like, okay, we have to go. Like, rise to the top. And then like, for what?
It's all within your reach. You just have to try hard enough.
Yeah, if you work hard enough, if you put in the time, if you put in the effort, you will be rewarded. But like for us, I mean, we're social people. We're relatively well spoken. We put ourselves out there. We are extroverted. And so I feel like the MLM people, like they saw us from a mile away and they're like, that girl.
Wouldn't you? Because, yeah, I mean, if we had the hustle, we could probably make it work. Also, though, there's getting in on the ground floor of something. Like,
Yeah, if you're like an early recruit at a brand new thing that gets big, I mean, that's part of it, because you think of like,
that's
okay,
what happened with your friend in like Younique, right?
yeah, that's, I mean, that's a huge part of it. It's like, okay, you're getting there at the ground floor before the market is too saturated. But with Younique, I have a good friend who she was one of the very like kind of beginning people. And so naturally, so many of her downline, it just happened. I mean, yes, she did hustle to like recruit a few other people, but then it's like, okay, there's a big timing aspect to it.
A lot of it fell into place.
Whereas me and you, like whenever we joined an MLM, it was already like way after the fact. Like we were like probably at the tail end of the boom when we're like, yeah, let's do this. And so it was already so saturated. When we think of like Mary Kay, for example, I mean, that's been around forever, but like you joined, you had somebody that you knew directly who was really, really successful in it. And so it's like, you know, you kind of have that dream to directly.
And it seems accessible. And she's so happy with her choice, and I'm glad that has success that way. But I don't have the same personality. And I know it can work for different personalities, but like I said, I never want an interaction with somebody to be an undercover business pitch. Like as soon as it becomes a business pitch to me, like if somebody compliments something I'm wearing and we start talking, and then they hand me their business card, like, oh, I sell these things, check it out. It becomes less authentic.
Absolutely. Unless you're like, you're talking and then you're like, oh my gosh, I love your lipstick. Where did you get it? Then she can, but it's not like, oh, I think you'd really like this. You know, it really all depends on the approach. When you think of an MLM as a whole, the dream that's sold to you is you're your own boss. You get full-time pay for part-time hours. I mean, I feel like that was kind of universal.
Be home with your kids if you have kids.
And then when you kind of contrast it with girl boss culture, it was like hustle, lean in, self-made. Like you can scratch and climb your way, you know, up this ladder. They're selling the same illusion, which is like empowerment through hustle, but it doesn't actually add up.
Right. It's a lot different than what you think. I mean, it works for some people. Yay. You win.
Yeah. Like I know people personally who have had like fantastic success, and that's amazing. And I'm like super excited for them. I mean, for us, it's like, yeah, we bought that dream multiple times. We bought multiple starter kits.
We did.
To try to do that. Let's take a second and like kind of go back and talk about like our confessions of our experience.
So my first experience with an MLM, I would say, happened in college. I was an innocent, naive college student who fell for a scheme.
So tell us what happened.
So I started out in the MLM world in, I think, 01. You don't know this story, so this is new for you.
And I think it's hilarious that you've never told me this once ever. Like the fact that we've gone.
Embarrassed because it's so embarrassing that I was like so naive. Open interviews listed in the Utah like local paper, and it said, call this number, we'll get you set up with an appointment. So I called, I got set up with like an interview appointment. You go in and there's this presentation, and they have offices, and the offices have like their company name on it. And so it seemed like very legit. You go in, there's this presentation. It seems really like exciting. They don't really tell you a lot of what you're selling, but like one of the things was that the founders of Paul Mitchell split, and then one of them created his own line, and we had the exclusive rights to selling this line. So they made it sound really easy and legit, and like, oh, you just have to talk to people and then you'll make money. I took out a loan for $4,000, and then boxes of random stuff just started arriving. They called it a business in a box. No training, no pricing. There was not a price list. I don't know how much to sell this stuff for. And so I'm just like unboxing all this stuff, and there's like a filtered shower head. There's shampoo and conditioner. Not just like personal beauty stuff. There's just random stuff. And I was like, uh-oh, what did I do?
What did I just do?
Yeah. And so I actually like called Dad, and I was like, help. And he was able to, you know, send a threatening enough letter to whoever it was that I signed up under, that they were like, okay, we'll contact corporate. And I sent it back, and they gave me the money back, minus the shipping costs.
Crazy.
They're preying on college students who think that it's going to be easy to just talk to people and people will want to buy what you're selling, even if you don't really know what you're selling.
Well, they make it seem so easy. They sell you this dream of like, oh, you just do these things. It makes me think, you watch Schitt's Creek, right? Where it's like, allez-vous, just follow my simple tips and tricks.
Bonjour! Now that you've opened your Allez-vous starter kit, let's begin with those essential tips and tricks you'll need to make up to $600,000 a year. That's $50,000 a month. That's $7,000 a week.
No, it isn't.
$1,000
She didn't finish high
a
school.
day. Now, you've heard of other get-rich-quick schemes, but this isn't a scheme. It's a system.
Look
A
at
network
the work
marketing
she's had
system
done.
designed to get you rich.
It's
Go grab a
grotesque.
pen and paper because I'm about to share with you some essential tips and tricks to maximize your sales productivity. If this seems like a dream come true, you need to pay attention to my tips and tricks.
Tips and tricks. And then you'll do all this, like financial freedom. It'll be so easy.
I know. So they're selling you this end result because they're like, get your friends to join.
And they'll get their friends to join. And they'll get
Or
their
get their
friends
friends
to
to
join.
join. Yeah, I don't know if anyone actually ever sold any products. If it was just recruit.
So that was number one. What was
number
next in
one.
line for you?
Next was Mary Kay. A friend of mine from high school, we actually were cheerleaders together. Like, I saw her randomly, I think my oldest was just like 2, maybe. And she was driving a pink Cadillac. And, I mean, she's super personable, and she really is truly wonderful. Like, I love makeup. I love talking to people. I love making friends. But I don't like having an ulterior motive for meeting or talking to people. I never want to go into an interaction with either my friends or a potential new friend thinking, how can I get my business into this conversation? I didn't like that.
No, it's an icky feeling. Before we kind of get into what we did together, I mean, my first experience definitely was when you joined Mary Kay. It was, okay, you're going to join my team, right?
Do
And I was
this
like,
with me.
sure, okay.
I love the social experience. That was before the internet was used for selling things, pretty much.
There was no social media at this point.
No, or if there was, it was like the early Facebook. But a lot of it was in person, and I love connecting with people. And also, if I love a product, I will tell everybody about it. If I truly believe in something and I think that everyone will benefit from it, I have no problem talking about it. But I don't like being locked into one brand of things unless everything in that brand is the best thing in the world.
I don't think there's anything where that's the case, really.
Probably not.
So my first MLM was Mary Kay, and so I joined under you. I was your one downline, and I think I sold like a small handful of things. It was actually funny because not long after, the girl who moved next to me also sold Mary Kay, and she had gotten the car incentive, so she was a little bit, it wasn't the Cadillac, but it was like the lowest level car. And so I would go to like weekly meetings with her, and they were all very like motivational and you can do it, but like I didn't really know what to do, because guess what, when you are a poor college student and the only people you know are also poor college students, that is your
Nobody
entire
has money
social
to buy a
thing.
$12 lipstick, which back then, $12 lipstick was like really expensive.
And I was in a barely scraping by, like nobody is going to be spending, say, $20 on a foundation. And so for me, it was like, okay, I'm trying to sell to like people who have no money to spend. They even told us, they said, let's go door to door. I went door to door to these apartment complexes of college girls. And I was like, hey, would you like to buy my makeup? It was humiliating because I was like, I'm trying to sell to strangers who don't want this. And I had absolutely no success. It was so mortifying. It was so mortifying. I hated every minute of it. I bought into the, order the big amount up front. I got a credit card with Dad had to be my co-signer because I had no credit. Dad was my co-signer. I bought like $1,500 worth of product because it's like, oh, you could get like whatever rank if you got it, $1,500 per quarter or whatever.
It was $1,800 actually.
Okay, whatever it was, I did that. And then I had all this freaking product that I couldn't do anything with. I feel like after 6 months, you could leave the company. You could completely quit. You could be like, I will never
They
be
didn't
a
have
part.
that option when I was in it. I don't.
When I did,
Maybe
you
they
could.
I don't know.
You could sell it back for 90% of what you purchased it. So I was still,
Okay.
you know, like.
Did you do that?
I did. Yeah, I sold it.
Oh,
I
nice.
sent it all back.
But then they're like, but then you can
never join again. You could never join.
Right.
And you know, again, like I'm not gonna knock all Mary Kay or all MLM because it's like there's a lot of wonderful things. There are a lot of like leadership and you know, like there's a lot of connection. There are a lot of good things, but like for me, it was like square peg round hole. I hated it. Then a couple years later, there was a new MLM based in Utah called Younique, Younique,
Yeah.
and it was
And
based
they
in
had
Utah.
this system, like this lash system.
Yes. So they had like, it was like a 2-part, like you put this lash serum on and then you put these like powdery fiber things. And it would make your eyelashes look really, really huge. If you didn't do it right, they would look very scary. Or they would like, the fibers would come off and they'd like get in your eyes and whatnot. But it's like, when done right, yes, it could make really good eyelashes. And so I joined under one of my good friends who she had the luxury of, she joined really early. And so she was able to get that downline really quickly. And she's not a salesy girl. She's not a in your face kind of girl. For her, it just felt very like, it wasn't a very complicated thing, but she got in and she was making really, really good money. I mean, she was staying home with her kids and she was getting checks. Girlfriend was getting checks. And it kept growing. I never had any interest in growing a downline. Yes, that could have been cool, but I wasn't going to like pursue that because that just kind of felt icky to me. Because again, like I don't want to sell something to somebody that they don't want. I don't want to pressure anybody into getting anything. And this mascara, again, was not cheap mascara. I can't remember how much it was, but it was probably like
$28 for
$28, which
the two tubes that came with it.
Which is a lot, I feel like. I mean, even now,
In
it's
the
not a cheap
early
mascara.
2000s.
But early 2000s, it felt even more. So I did that for a little while. Definitely didn't sell very much. I sold like tiny bits here and there. And really, anybody who bought Younique from me in those days in 2015, whatever it was, like, thank you for your service. That was very, very kind of you. But then it leads us to our joint venture, which was
LuLaRoe. Okay, I have to say though, like when we both fell in love with LuLaRoe clothes, it's because they were really cute and you couldn't find things like it elsewhere.
Yeah, it was a Younique.
I remember the Amelia dress was what sold me because I saw a friend wearing one and I was like, where did you get that dress? It's so cute. She was like, oh, it's this brand called LuLaRoe. And hardly anybody was selling it in our area in Indiana.
Yeah, I remember you got me a shirt. You got me like a baseball style tee, the Randy tee. And so like at the very beginning, it was cute. The prints were really cute. The colors were cute. Like the silhouettes, everything was great. And so it grew and grew and grew. And it kind of grew, like snowballed so big, so fast. It was like this wave of, yeah, too big, too fast. I mean, like if you haven't seen the documentary Lula Rich, like it was this crazy growth. But do you remember, okay, so we decided, I have a friend that sold it and she was starting to build her team. She was like, you should do it. And so of course we did do it. And it's not like this cheap investment. Do you remember? It was like $3,000 or $4,000.
I thought it was like $6,000.
It could have been. It was a lot of money.
There were different levels.
Oh, and I remember it was so exciting because we were first, we were like enthusiastic about the company. You know, we'd seen the growth. So many people were wearing it. So we said, okay, we're going to do it.
The product.
We loved the product. It was comfortable. At the time, the prints were cool and cute, and it was just really, really nice. And so, yeah, we signed up, and there was such a demand at this time that you couldn't just sign up and like, bam, place your order. You had to wait for your call. So you'd submit
6 or 8
paperwork.
weeks.
Yeah, and you'd wait for your call. And it was this big, exciting thing. When you get this call from, I don't remember where it was, somewhere in Southern California. And it's like, you get the call and they say, okay, what order would you like to do? And, you know, it was like this big, exciting thing. So we submitted our order. We had to wait for like 2 weeks. We had to order all sorts of random crap from Amazon, like clothing racks and hangers and bags to transport the things and like all sorts of like marketing materials, right?
And a postage meter.
Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, the scale. We had a scale because we would ship packages and like this, we would have a label maker. There was so much, but we were into it.
We were so excited.
We were so excited. It really, there was a lot that was really, really fun about it. Like the whole process and doing it together.
One of the fun things is we would do, when we would get a new box, we would do a live.
A Facebook Live.
We would do a live sale, and people would tune in and watch us talk about clothes and just like talk with each other. And we actually had people that like, they loved it. They tuned in every time.
Yeah, whether or not they were buying things, like just seeing us, like
they liked your sister dynamic,
funny dynamic, and our antics and whatnot, and like our just descriptions. Like we'd pull something out of the box, and then we'd be like,
I mean, yes, on the spot, we're like talking about colors, and I specifically remember subtle mustard. It's like a subtle mustard. I was like, that should be a band name. Subtle
honestly,
mustard.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it was honestly like, okay, we went beyond being like, oh, entrepreneurs, but it's like we had our own little QVC channel of like our LuLaRoe with Sarah and Chrissi, and it was really, really fun.
I even have a friend that was like, I think she had like a son who was 1 or 2. That was his favorite show. It was the Sarah and Chrissi show.
That's hilarious. I mean, there were so many things about LuLaRoe that were really, really fun. But before I get into those, like, we made no money because what they told us was to reinvest back in the business. It was like, oh, grow your inventory. And so it's like, take what you made and put it back in.
Right. We would sell the good stuff. So that's when the prints started getting really weird. They onboarded way too many people. So there were too many people wanting the product to sell. And their thing at first was like, we only make 10,000 items. Or maybe it was 1,000 items in one print. So then they had to like invent new prints. And some of them were just hideous. We didn't have any control over what prints they sent.
No.
All we could choose was like size and style.
Yeah, the style and the size and the quantity is all we could choose. So it's like we could order a box of shirts and we could open up the box, and without fail, there were a couple really cute ones. There were mostly were kind of in the middle of like, somebody might like it, and then there were some hideous ones that you would call donkeys.
The bacon leggings. Do you remember the ones that just looked like?
Yes.
They looked like not cute bacon, but just like, why are you wrapping your legs in strips of bacon?
For this episode, I'm gonna have to dig up some of our old pictures and find some of the ugliest things, because it's like, yes, they were the cute things, and you know they would sell right away. We had to take pictures of every single thing because we'd put it on our Facebook group. That's how you would sell.
Yeah.
Facebook group, and then also in-person things. There was so much, and I don't want to go on too much about like every aspect of LuLaRoe, but like somehow we were able to go to the factory in South Carolina. We drove we were chosen to drive 10 hours to South Carolina. We were so excited to go to the factory where we could sort
we got to
through
pick our own
stuff.
styles.
And so we did. I think we, probably spent like $1,000 on like all the stuff. And then we were so excited to come home and go on our Facebook Live to be like, look what we got. We got to handpick everything. So we did that for like 2 years. And it was a lot of hard work because it's like, you can't make people want to buy this stuff. You can try to like be excited.
Well, and the market just got so oversaturated with people selling it. I mean, people were selling it then at like discount sales because nobody could sell all their stuff.
There were a lot of frustrating things, or there was like I felt like they kind of pitted consultants against each other a little bit. Like, oh, we're going to do this collection. Do you remember the black collection where it was like that noir? And it was
because black leggings were so hard to get. And they really did have, at the beginning, very soft leggings. I think they cheapened their materials after a while, and so the leggings began to get really thin. And anyway, yes, I remember the Noir collection. And so you had to get online at a certain time. They gave the higher sellers early access.
So they got to order all their stuff. And so then the smaller sellers it was like this big, huge thing. But all that to say, like, LuLaRoe, I feel like at the very beginning was probably doing great, but then they got oversaturated. They did not know how to handle this huge beast that it had become, and it like eventually became its downfall. It was this weird, very culty style of leadership and like wanting to be one of those top leaders. And for us, we never really wanted to be one of the top leaders. We never went in trying to like recruit people.
Fun.
Yeah, and it was really fun. And like some of like funny sister memories came from that. I don't regret that.
It's probably slut downstairs.
Oh my gosh. Please give some context.
Oh my gosh. Lucy was little and she was like crawling amongst the racks of clothing.
She was she was like 6 months old, my daughter, who is now 8.
And you were referring to
A really ugly
a
dress.
really ugly dress. And this is like a Mean Girls reference, the term fugly slut. You were like, I'm going to take this fugly slut downstairs. And I honestly thought you were referring to Lucy.
Oh my gosh, I know.
What?
I was not referring to my child as the fugly slut. No, I was talking
No,
about this
never.
horrible dress.
Yeah.
Which we ended up giving away. This is the thing with LuLaRoe. They sent us such ugly things that were like, there was no way that we could actually sell this to a human being. Like,
Wow, look at the colors on
look
this.
at that. I know, we would have to do like some type of a gimmick where like, if you buy a pair of leggings, you're going to get a bonus free item in your bag. And so it always the most hideous stuff.
Yeah.
We would say, buy these leggings and you'll get a free
Buy
shirt
the
in your
good
bag.
stuff.
And it'd be like that. Sure. Oh my gosh. And they could be mad about it because it was free, but it's like, did they even know? Did they
What are
even
we
know?
going to do with this stuff?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, like LuLaRoe, in retrospect, we did not make any money. I think in the end, when I finally moved to Tennessee, that's where we're like, we're done. And we sold everything that we could at a steep discount. And then I ended up donating like 100 items to like some type of ministry where, you know, it wasn't like a Goodwill where you had to purchase them. It was like,
Here, have clothes for people who don't have clothes.
who don't have clothes. Here's some clothes. Anyway, all that to say, it wasn't all bad, but it's like, did we make any money? No. Did we have fun memories? Absolutely. But like, let's go back and talk. Like, we know people who have succeeded in a huge way. We know people who have made, you know, specifically with Younique. There are two girls that I went to high school with who made crazy money. They were top leaders, and and they have both left Younique. You know, I don't know the reasons.
Younique's still around?
I think it is. I don't know.
They had
I
a
have no
really
idea.
good concealer. I do remember when they opened up from just mascara.
Yeah, I liked a lot of their products, but like everybody that I know, they've since left. And I feel like there's a pattern with the MLM where it's like, okay, it kind of goes up and then it goes down in popularity. And so I think the key is to like, you know, the people who did it, they left before the huge decline. You know, they left before their checks got too small.
Well, and we have a friend whose husband got in really early with New Skin. Mm-hmm. And I mean, now I don't know where he is with that company, but I know now he's like a motivational speaker all around the world. But he has the personality. He is a go-getter.
Yeah, he is a
will
hustler.
succeed no matter what.
There's those essentially unicorn people who can do all of that, but then it's like, okay, but then the dream is sold to all the other people. It's like, oh, you can have this. You know, you just have to follow these tips and tricks.
If you annoy 25 people, one of them will end up buying something.
Yeah, I mean, how often have you gotten the "Hey girl" message on Facebook where it's like, "Hey girl"?
It's like, I know I haven't talked to you in 17 years, but I have an opportunity for you. Yeah. Then here's the thing. If something is the best thing I've ever used, I will tell everyone about it. Mm-hmm. But there's just so much stuff now.
And when it's like, okay, yeah, you can sell this, but then you have to pay this money to be able to sell it. You have to buy this whole kit and you have to sell all the things. Like, I don't, at this point, what I know about myself is that I do not enjoy selling. I don't enjoy doing that because I don't want to feel like I'm trying to pressure anybody into buying something that they're really not into. And I don't want to do like the courtesy buy, which essentially every time that I have gone to any type of like an MLM party, whether it's like Pampered Chef or whatever, it's like most of the time, you know, I will do like the courtesy purchase. I'll buy like one little thing. So it's like kind of the cost of entry. But like there's very few things where I'm like, oh my gosh, I want more of this, right? Except for LuLaRoe. And that's how we felt. All right, guys, I hope you're loving today's episode. I promise I'm not going to send you a Hey Girl Facebook message asking you to buy my stuff. But what I am going to do is ask you, if you're loving this episode, share it with your friends. Post about it on social media. Share it with somebody. The person who would truly like crack up and this would all resonate with them and they would remember falling into that same trap. Because guess what? If you did not fall into the MLM trap yourself, you know somebody who did. So share the love and keep on listening because we've got some good stuff for the rest of this episode. I went on Reddit and I was searching at MLMs, and I found one person's post that really I want to get your take on it. So they said, I think MLMs are taking advantage of the state of the world we live in. Stagnating wages, no maternal or paternal leave, prohibitively expensive healthcare, higher and higher prices, sexism, hyper-individualism, making people lonely, marginalized groups getting pushed more and more to the fringes of society. Addressing all these ills would, in time, take the power and influence MLMs wield to people in search of a solution for their issues. It's going to get into the weeds, but it says, all these MLMs claim to be a cure-all for loneliness, whatever health issues you might have, or financial strife. All they do is promise you a better, more fulfilling life, and all you have to do is make fun little posts on Facebook about your shampoo or oils or diarrhea tea or nauseatingly patterned leggings. Check. Skincare, wax melts, jewelry, etc. All you have to do is spend every waking hour of the day harassing strangers, making engaging content, begging, borrowing, and stealing to make their monthly quotas, cosplaying as a business owner, spending above their means to make themselves look more successful than they are or ever could be with an MLM, all the while losing big, losing money, losing relationships because they aren't supportive, losing time, losing dignity. I mean, that's a big extreme, but at the same time, that person's not wrong. They're not wrong.
Because you're told if you hustle enough, if you put in the work, if you want it bad enough, you will succeed. You will get to that next level.
Well, and that's like the girl boss culture too. Like that's kind of where the bridge of like MLM, oh, if you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. Girl boss culture, where it's like the hustle, the power suits, the empowerment, which in reality seems to be like, actually it's burnout. And then there's like unpaid, extra work. And then there's
here's the thing. You were talking earlier about, one of the things that you mentioned in that Reddit post that you found, it's like, things are getting so expensive that you really can't survive on one income anymore. But childcare is so expensive. It's not worth the mom then going out and getting a job just to pay for the childcare for having a job. Like they sell you this idea of, you can be home with your kids. You can be their full-time mom and just do this on the side and make enough money to support your family.
Absolutely. Like I remember one of the Younique's big selling points is like they pay you in 4 hours or something like that. So it's like you make a sale, you sell a mascara, and then all of a sudden in 4 hours you have the money in your account. And then there are stories of this whatever mom and she needed money for formula or diapers or whatever thing. They kind of sell you the emotional story of like, oh, she had no way to make money and then she sold a mascara and then she was able to feed her baby. Things like that where it's like, I get it. Like my neighbor down the street, she was working at the elementary school and she said after all of everything, having her 2 kids in childcare, I think she ended up like $200 a head after all the costs. And she's like, for me working and doing all of this time and effort and, everything at the elementary school to only make essentially $200 a month, she's like, not worth it. And so she stopped. And it's like, obviously, you try to find a job that lights you up and that you're excited about and that makes you enough money that it makes sense. And like for her, it didn't. But I feel like, again, the MLM sells you this promise of full-time money, part-time work, and it's going to be so easy and you just have to do all these things. But then what you and what everybody else, and I like there's stats that are like 99% of people who join these MLMs, they make no money or they make such little money. It's like under $1,000 a year or something crazy like that. And it's just insane. And I know there are certain countries like that type of marketing is not allowed. Like the MLM, the pyramid scheme, which I think the difference between an MLM and a pyramid scheme is like a pyramid scheme is like you're selling an idea or an opportunity, whereas MLM, you're actually selling a concrete product. But I don't know. I feel like culture has definitely shifted. I haven't really noticed that there has been a lot of like new MLMs cropping up. I mean, there is Saint, which is a makeup brand, which seems to have really gotten a lot of traction.
Used to be
mascara.
Yes.
And I did buy the kit years and years ago, and it was okay. It's all like cream makeup.
Yeah.
And
so it wasn't addressing skin needs. It was more about here you put the lighter color here and the darker color here, and it was a contour. It was basically
it was like a face contour system, which cool. And I know there are a lot of people that do like it. I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. There's one girl that I follow online. Her name's Mackenzie Fultz. Hers is like Freedom Barbie. Do you follow her? Or have you heard of her? She's a private investigator, and she's telling PI stories as she's doing her makeup. And I remember when I first saw her stories were hilarious, and she was like a really, really good storyteller. And so her following just grew and grew. I mean, she's got hundreds of thousands of followers, and she's like, she posted just recently like number 2 in the company or something, and it's like, that is amazing. Like, that is so great.
She found her niche.
And I feel like it's a combination of like the timing, the packaging of how you get out to the world. Like, she succeeded, but like behind her there's 1,000 people who never really got that traction.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, and it's tough, I feel like. But for me, and probably for you, it's like, that's just not for me anymore. I'm good.
It's not. I'm soft girl. I'm sleepy girl.
Well, I feel like today there's the big, and I'm not big on TikTok, but it's like the lazy girl jobs. That's like kind of the Gen Z thing.
I don't know what that means, but I want one.
One of my favorite podcasts, Pop Apologists, their big thing is they talk about work soft all the time, which is the opposite of work hard. Basically, like, you have a gentle approach to work. It is not your life. It is not what you wake up for. Yes, it's what you do, but that's like not your identity at all.
That sounds like privileged girl job.
I can see that, but I feel like the mentality of like, yeah, it's like not work as little as humanly possible, but like, I would say it's like the antithesis of the girl boss of like, yes, I do these things and I do work, but I'm not rise and grind. I'm not hashtag boss babe.
But I would not rise if I didn't have to go to work. I don't have that in me. I would like to do my job from my bed, not in an OnlyFans way.
Thank you for that distinction. I was nervous for a minute.
I want to do my job in my bed and not have to like go interact. I like interacting with people, but I want to do it because I want to do it, not because I have to for money.
Yes, I would love a part-time job with a full-time paycheck. Do I think I'm going to get that? No. Do I feel like, yes, is it possible for a very, very small number of people?
I think you have to have the right, like, so I really love the Enneagram, and it helped me to accept who I am and like why I am the way I am, because that part of me is not changing. There are certain people who their personalities are just more conducive to that hustle mentality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like either a 2 or a 3. I can't remember what it is, but it's like, yeah, that work, that hustle is something that like lights them up. Okay.
I don't know. I'm a 7.
Yeah, same.
I'm a 7/9. Like, some days I'm a 7, some days I'm a 9.
I think I'm a 7 wing 8. I think is what I am. I don't know.
It's the wing, yeah. You get the wings, but like my 7 and my 9 scores are both almost equally high.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the idea of like MLMs kind of like paving the way for influencer marketing? Because like MLM was like, okay,
happened.
Yeah, it's like you would sell to people, be in their face, or like in person, we'd have this embarrassing Mary Kay party trying to sell things to poor college students. It was horrifying. Or like the LuLaRoe party where it's like, you hope that people buy everything, right? And it's like there are the pity buys where people are like, oh, I'll buy something. But with influencer marketing, it's like you can get what you want. And like, you don't even have to actively be like selling, be like, oh, this is what you need. I mean, yes, I feel like influencers, they definitely
you're
put
selling
the products.
Your image, really.
Yeah.
It's what the influencer is selling. So it works for some people. I think I'm too self-critical to be able to put myself out there like that because there's a lot of haters.
Oh, yes. There are a lot of mean people. But then again, it's like, do we listen to the random person on the internet, that you'll never meet and never affects your life?
Right.
Like, in theory, you don't. But I feel like when it comes to like the bridge between MLM and influencer marketing, it's like, okay, we're used to being sold something, but it's a natural progression.
Natural progression.
But it also is less in your face because you don't have to, you're not in person presenting these things, to this group of people in a home. It's like, you're just putting it out on the internet. You're, putting that line out, and whoever wants to get it, whoever is interested in, they can click on your link. They could do whatever.
It's in your face all the time, in your feed all the time, in your face.
All the time. But the person putting it out there doesn't feel, I feel like it's a less aggressive, you're not looking at somebody in a living room.
Specifically. Well, the algorithm is targeting you. but
yeah, but it's like as a consumer, you can take what you want and leave what you don't. I mean, I buy things all the time, or like from affiliate links, somebody talks about this hair product or a nail polish or a lip gloss or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll
have
click
you
on the
found
link and it'll
something
take
that
me
you have loved so much from those affiliate links?
all the time, actually. So like there's hair products that I use. I find a person who has similar hair as mine and it makes their hair look good. I'm never going to have big, luscious, like amazing, thick, long mermaid hair. And if I ever come on here with mermaid hair, know that it's fake because my head cannot grow it. It's a wig. It's a wig. It's extensions. It's something. I'll find somebody who has a similar like coloring as me, and it's like, oh, this lip gloss looks great on them.
Body type, or something,
or on their body type. You're seeing all these things like whatever this size or whether this shape of body. It's like I appreciate that because you go into Target or you go into shopping online or you go whatever, and it's like, I want to find the model that looks like me so I can see how this is going to look. So like the MLM to the influencer marketing, like I get that. And I feel like that was kind
that's
of
what we were doing. We were influencer marketing before it was a thing. That's what we were trying to do, at least.
On the Sarah and Chrissi LuLaRoe show.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be surprised because I don't talk about LuLaRoe at all because I'm like, it's a little cringy.
Yeah. The way that the company went did not fare well.
No, it did not. Do you remember the leggings that had the founders' faces on them? It was like Christmas leggings with like Stidham's face.
That's where it really was veering into cult territory.
That's where they jumped the shark.
Yes.
Is where like they put their faces on leggings, knowing random people aren't going to buy them, but they're acolytes, that the people who are selling just love them so much.
People who worship them.
Yes, that was like way too intense. But a question that I want to ask at this point in our lives, I mean, you're 44, I'm 40. Do we even want to be girl bosses at this point? Hashtag girl boss.
I want the benefits without the life-sucking, soul-sucking cost.
Truly, because I feel like at 20 and even at 30, the dream was like, it was an intoxicating dream of like, ooh, I can be this person too. I can, contribute financially to my family while I'm home with my kids and all this thing. Yeah. But no, at this age, at 40, for me, it feels exhausting.
That's why I'm back in school. Like, so as someone who is 44, divorced, didn't finish my degree, that's why I'm back in school now, because I need to be able to get a job that gives me benefits and stability and pays the bills. I don't want to have to hustle. I don't want to have to do
you want to have
jobs
maintain
and
your
a side
speed.
Hustle.
No, and you want to know what to expect, and like your paycheck will be the same each month.
Yeah. Maybe that's boring. Maybe I'm selling myself short, but I don't want to have to work 2 jobs just to make ends meet.
Absolutely. And it's like, it's a luxury to think that, because there are a lot of people who are in that situation where it's like, okay, they're having to work. I don't want to be obtuse and think like, okay, just follow the simple tips and tricks again, and everything will be fine. Like there are people who their situations are varying.
Well, and these really are marketed towards women. You'll get to stay at home with your kids because you can't afford leaving the house.
Yeah, childcare is too expensive.
I think there's a difference, though, between a guy hustling but then leaving early to take their daughter to gymnastics practice and a mom doing the same thing. Like in the corporate world, there's a lot of things that just don't work with parenting as a mom and having a corporate job.
That directly fits into my life because Ben, it's like he's got this corporate job and he has to travel and, his hours are sometimes all over the place. Like right now with our life balance, it wouldn't really work for us to both be doing the same type of job.
Yeah, but also imagine you being in his role, both of you guys being in the same role. If he says, hey guys, I got to cut this meeting short. I need to take my daughter to gymnastics practice. They'd be like, oh, that's awesome.
What a good dad.
But if you say it, they're just like, no.
Not committed, is she?
Right.
I've never been in the corporate field, so like I don't have like a personal,
But I think this is a common story. My boyfriend's a single dad, and he has to leave all the time from his job. He has to leave early to handle something with the kids, whether it's a therapy appointment or, he has to show up at the school for something. I don't know that he would have the same not even flexibility, because every time he's like, oh, I'm probably going to get fired. But I don't think it would work as much if it's a mom that had to do it.
Which, I mean, it's a hard place to be in because I understand that the employer needs to have their employee, have that stability and have that consistency and have that reliability. But at the same time, it's like, you got to realize, and I think this is something specifically with the United States where like the work culture is very, very different than it is, even in like European countries where it seems like there is a lot more balance. And you think of their laws, like their maternity leave and their paternity leave. It's like, I could get into all the things, but like, part of being a girl boss is that like work hustle above all else. I feel like there's kind of that emphasis, and I'm just like,
well, the European job where you come in at 10, you take a 3-hour lunch, and then you leave by 5,
and then you take off on summers too. Like you take off early on. Let's get that job.
Yeah.
Let's get that job.
Yes.
So I want to wrap things up. I'm going to list a company name. If you've ever been to one of their parties, say check. Okay, ready? Pampered Chef, check.
Check.
Mary Kay,
Check.
check. Tupperware, I have not.
Check.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Long time ago.
Scentsy,
Oh, check.
check. I actually loved their stuff. Amway, they're like a big one. I don't know what they sell.
I don't
Everyone's
think
like,
I
Amway's
want
the
it.
worst. What about doTERRA?
I think I've seen it or been presented with the information in a setting. They don't do parties, but like, here, let me tell you about the company.
Let me tell you about these oils.
Yeah.
Rodan and Fields,
Oh, yes.
check.
Yes. Check.
LuLaRoe, check.
Check.
Monet, the hair.
Monat.
Monat.
Maybe it is Monet, but I've heard it both ways. Monat. Yes. Check.
Check. Senegence, which is like the lip scents. I actually love
Yes.
lip scents.
Check.
I never tried any of their other stuff. I really loved it for like a solid 5 years. I had like 30. I did.
Oh
love
yeah,
those.
I did too.
Never
Yes.
wanted to join
Put
them.
on the one, and then you seal it
Gloss.
with the other.
As we finish this episode, I would like, this is the Found at 40 sales pitch. For $199, you can join the Found at 40 Success Circle. It comes with a rose quartz water bottle, a vision board, and enough dignity to last you a lifetime. That is my
Yes.
my
Yes.
sales pitch. Just
Let's
kidding.
do
I'm not
it.
selling you anything.
Well, and then we will record a 30-second message just for you.
Just for you. It'll be like Cameo, except
Yes.
nobody knows who we are. I'll send you a Cameo message for free. I'll make no money and spend all my
If you
time on
want
it.
us to say hi, I say us like I'm part of your brand. But if you want Chrissy to say hi, you could even request Sarah.
They
It's fine.
probably would. They'd probably be like, they're more fun together.
We are.
Thanks for coming on.
You're welcome.
All right, bye.
Bye.